Oh my golly. Way to start an episode. AFKing at the witch farm and dying to a pack of phantoms. Unfriggin' believable. I've no idea how long I've been AFK, but I think I just lost all my items. Quite possibly. I'm gonna sleep the night away and then use the item revival system. This just sucks. Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to episode 77 of my survival series. So just as soon as I can actually use my item revival system, that'd just be fantastic. Anytime now. Okay, here we go. Over here, and let's get proper Thorns armor here. Okay, looks like my item revival system is not exactly working either. Okay, so this episode I was actually planning something rather exciting. Today we're gonna do something that I personally have never done. I'm gonna work on a project that I've been working on for several years, and that is a mega tree farm, as in a tree farm that works for giant trees like dark oak, giant jungle, and giant spruce saplings. Okay, let me just get some items here so that I can actually, well, survive. So I'm gonna need a crafting table. Probably gonna need a shield since I died from a pack of phantoms. Don't want it here. Let's see here. Let me just get a bunch of items here. There we go. And I'm wondering if I can actually recover any of the items, but since the area is not currently loaded, then I should be able to just get those items back. But I am gonna need to suit up just in case. So let me suit up for who knows what and try to see if I can get any items. And it's super convenient that the witch farm is connected to the nether, because I can do this. From the item revival system, I can just walk to the portal and walk over to the witch farm. There's those phantoms. Okay, good, they're burning. Let's see. Pretty soon all of them are gonna die. That's good. Okay. Let's shut off the witch farm. I haven't actually shown this witch farm in a very long time. Probably since, I think, episode 35 when I revamped the whole thing. So now the witch farm is off. Hopefully the fact that I died didn't destroy the thing. And this is just some experimental redstone. This was my AFK spot right here. I still don't get how the phantoms actually managed to kill me there. Okay, looks like we got some items coming through. Okay, so let's see just if any of the items actually survived, and also see the output of this farm. Okay, this is great. Also, holy crap, that's a lot of sticks. Oh my golly. Okay, well, at least I got my blankly named fishing rod, plus my sword, plus this elytra. So that's good. Ooh, and emeralds. I had emeralds on me from the villager trading hall, which was quite stupid. So, oh my golly. Oh, so looks like quite a few of my items survived, but unfortunately, David Bowie, the bow that I was using, looks like that did not survive. So, looks like David Bowie the bow has finally died. You realize David Bowie the bow has been there since episode 13, and in an outrageous stroke of luck, it was actually duplicated. And in fact, you can see this duplication happen in livestream number 3. So this David Bowie, before I lose him again, I'm going to put him in the Hall of Fame. Built 2 episodes ago now. So, there we go. David Bowie. Forever immortalized. And while we're at it, let's take a quick census of things that I lost. So, my good bow, I'm going to need to beef this thing up if I'm going to use it. Looks like I also lost my weapon trident, plus, let's see, looks like I got enough armor to sustain myself, plus plenty of food, and let's see, I'm definitely gonna need a weapon trident. I need the weapon trident. Okay, I got a weapon trident from the item revival system, so that was not a problem. There we go. Weapon trident. Assuming it doesn't lag like this. However, I think the biggest setback here is probably my pickaxe. My actual pickaxe had like efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, mending, silk touch, all that jazz. So the fact that I'm gonna need to beef up this pickaxe as well if I'm gonna use this at all. And also, this weapon trident needs channeling. Behold, a tree farm that has been in the making for almost 3 years now, and it is finally ready, the first version. So this is a unique tree farm in that it works entirely on 2x2 trees. Now, it's not the most efficient thing in the world, and it's also not the fastest, but it is certainly the coolest looking. So, crazily enough, I have enough resources to build this monstrosity. And I also have the space for a 78 by 34 by 40 block farm. So, this thing is insane, and it currently only works with spruce trees, but soon will work with jungle and dark oak trees. But for now, take a look at this. This command block basically places a bunch of logs in a column so that you can see what happens. So first, these flying machines come over and grab onto the log. And then once all the flying machines grab onto the log, then a little bit later, they all get sent back simultaneously, essentially, except for this here. Uh-oh. You would not believe how many times this has already happened. This happens so much that this is actually the least catastrophic thing that has ever happened. Seriously. The least catastrophic thing. And this is why you should always keep a backup. So, this is actually how the tree farm is supposed to work. So we have the log right here, and then these flying machines come over and grab the logs, and then a little bit later, all of these flying machines get sent back simultaneously, basically peeling the tree apart, just like this. Super cool. And then these flying machines come down and essentially push the logs off of those flying machines and then stores it all away. And eventually all of the logs end up over here where they can then be put into a TNT chamber or whatever. But that is the process for this tree farm. And that, I don't know, this looks just absolute. This looks incredible, and I can't wait to build this in survival, because so far it's only just been a concept in creative mode. This will be the world's least efficient tree farm, but also the world's coolest looking tree farm for 2x2 trees. Yep, this is a catastrophic collapse right here. Prime example. Good thing this is a backup. I think this is a good place to put the tree farm. It is right next to
another humongous farm, that being the ice farm. Speaking of the ice farm, I've now done one full harvest of this thing. It seems the farm completely destroys itself in the first couple of rounds of laying down ice layers, as well as the final layer. I'm still not sure why it breaks itself. But check this out. This is the second full harvest that I'd have to do. And that first full harvest gave me about 12 shulker boxes full of ice. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So I also put these gray stained glass panes in place to contain some of the items. And also, there's now an aquarium inside. No fish, though. So over here, I think it would be a good place to put a tree farm. So, shockingly, there's not many resources required to build this thing. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of pistons, and that's a lot of observers, which are practically expendable. Same with, that's a lot of slime blocks, but it really isn't compared to how many I have. This obsidian was the most difficult resource. Plus all of this, plus all of this. The dirt is just scaffolding because scaffolding blocks don't exist yet. So this ice here is just for the water, for the bubble columns that are used for redstone transmitting. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna build up this tree farm in pieces. So the first piece is going to mainly involve this shulker box, and it's going to be mainly about getting the resources, basically making it player compatible. I'm going to start with that, and I suppose that could mean that if something fails, it would be more catastrophic, but I don't want to think in that kind of terms. So, first up, the player systems.
And progress report. So, we have the player systems in place. So, we can now, well, assuming there weren't shulker boxes and things in the way, we could actually sit in this minecart and press this lever and hang on, bit awkward there. I had my adventure map texture pack activated. So anyways, if there weren't shulker boxes in the way, I could actually ride on this minecart, going back and forth and placing saplings on what would be dirt right here. And in the process, that would end up growing a tree. I'd have not hooked up the bone meal system just yet, but now we have the return mechanism, and we have all the hoppers to collect any saplings that drop. So next up comes the critical machines to make the tree zippers work. And super cool thing, since I use kind of water stone, I guess, is what you could call it. See, these here are bubble columns, and they can actually be used for redstone. So not only can you zip up it, but when the dispenser down there places or removes water, all of these pistons update instantly at exactly the same time. So that's an absolutely critical piece of this entire tree farm. And that system is probably the most painful. Well, actually, I'd be wrong. Building up these tree zippers is probably going to be the most painful part. So while I'm building up one of the tree zippers, I'd like to talk about my specific design process, which may seem peculiar, maybe not, who knows, but it's something you've probably subtly seen throughout all of my videos. So my specific design process starts with a prototype, and this tree farm right here is actually, the prototype actually takes the longest amount of time to develop. This is why the tree farm has been in development for about 2 years now. And it took me 2 years to get to this point because for some of these elements, the technology for it simply did not exist. Bubble columns did not exist when I started developing it. And I went through all kinds of iterations of this thing. At one point, I
I tried to get 10 withers to throw skulls at the trunk simultaneously, and, well, I'm happy I ditched that idea because trapping 10 withers in one area is an extraordinarily dangerous thing to do. It's something I'd like to avoid if at all possible. But if I could not avoid it, I do have a wither skeleton farm that can get me the wither skulls needed. So let's see. Also, when I first started developing this, observers actually did not exist. So that's one of the reasons why it took so long to even get this far. Secondly, this is the first time I am building a first functional prototype in survival mode. Normally, I don't build these designs because they are terrible, inefficient, and resource expensive. And for that matter, this machine is absolutely 100% going to end up in the Hall of Shame on the survival series because it pretty much checks off all of those things. But it does work. It does work, at least for spruce trees. I'm yet to figure out a branch mechanism, a mechanism to deal with branches. So you are gonna have to forgive me a little bit for such a kind of not great design because personally I'm not going to. So that is my personal design process. But the thing is, after a first functional prototype, usually what comes afterwards is a total redesign that uses the same concepts of the first functional prototype that then ends up flowering into a brilliant design that kind of takes an unusual approach to different things. You see that kind of situation in things like my 3D printers. So that's probably the best example where all of the stages of development are still there. Actually have video evidence. So with the 3D printer, I had an advantage because I actually started with a prototype. That's what Ilmango's 3D printer was. So my redesign of that is kind of the first functional prototype of the 3D printer. And then several iterations later, we ended up with the 3D printer for episode 42, which you can actually see on this channel. It's the 3D printed special. So that is my design process, and this is the first tree zipper flying machine. So with these tree zipper flying machines, there's an observer right here that activates the whole machine and makes it fly forwards. Now, I'll just walk through the entire process, except this here is out of alignment. So let's align it real quick. See, I need some source of redstone power so I can retract this all. There we go. This is much easier in creative mode. Okay. So this is the ready to go tree zipper. And in fact, I can actually launch the thing as long as I do this, because the mechanism to stop the flying machine has not been put in place yet. So here is the process of unzipping the tree. And I call it unzipping because, well, you saw the process. It kind of looks like a zipper. Uh-oh. Okay, then. I'm missing a piece. Hang on. Troubleshooting. I realized I probably should not be showing that kind of thing off in the middle of the night when there's things like strays to shoot me off the platforms. Plus, I can show off my rabbit friend who seems to be just hanging out here and following me around every time I try to sleep. So, good for him. I'm just going to end a pearl over here so that it doesn't try to follow me. There we go. So now I can show off the tree zipper because
this was the piece that was missing. This observer, which is absolutely critical to make this flying machine even fly. So now, let's just break this gold here. And now, I'm going to demonstrate how this machine actually functions. So, there's going to be a different flying machine coming down from the sky to update this observer, which sends off the tree zipper. So, then the tree zipper either bumps into the tree or bumps into the machine that it's supposed to bump into, if it doesn't bump into the tree. But either way, the farthest out it can go is up to here, at which point these machines here, all these pistons simultaneously update. So, okay. When the signal comes by to send all the tree zippers back and unzip the tree, all of these pistons will simultaneously update, which will simultaneously update all of the observers that would be sticking out right here, just like that, which would pull the tree back all the way back to the starting position, at which point a different signal comes by that will then push all the logs off of the slime blocks so that it resets the mechanism so we can grow another tree. That is the horrendously complicated system to this tree farm. And now it's time to build, let's see, we got 2, 4, 6, 8 times 2. Yeah, time to build 16 of these flying machines. I'm not exactly looking forward to that kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to do any time lapses with this, simply because, well, there's going to be just too much of me just standing there doing nothing, mainly to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And in general, that time lapse is just going to be boring. So, jump cut. And now all of the tree zippers have been built. So next up comes the extremely precise mechanisms to send the tree zippers off, as well as stop them before they crash, before they become slimestone soup if they decide to crash into something that's not a tree. So hopefully that mechanism does work, because I do not want to rebuild these flying machines. These tree zippers are an absolute pain to build, and this is why I did it in creative mode. This is also why, generally speaking, I don't build the first edition prototypes of any of my designs in survival. But this is an exception. Okay, all of the tree zipping mechanisms have been put in place. So now, with this one redstone block, I'm going to test the whole thing out. So we have these bubble columns here, which, by the way, was almost catastrophic because at the top of this bubble column here, oh, looks like I got the dispenser active. So at the top of this bubble column, it was actually freezing, which is really, really bad because at the top here, as you can see, we have observer blocks. And now I'm stuck. Crap. So here's the idea. I'm gonna just hop up onto that dirt up there. I cleared out all the shulker boxes and crafting tables and things like that because this is pretty much the full test of the tree zipping mechanism. So what's gonna happen is all of these flying machines are gonna come flying towards the middle here, and since there's nothing in the middle here, they're going to be stopped by that flying machine right up there. It's just going to come down and stop the tree zippers before they collide with each other. So once that's done, I currently don't have that mechanism in place, but I could manually basically send all of the tree zippers back. And I'm going to have to manually send all the machines back. But this is the moment of truth where, quite possibly, everything collides into slimestone mush. Now, this is so possibly catastrophic that I actually created a backup of this world. That's something I only do for specials, and this here took me so long to do that I felt I needed to make a backup. Guess the size of the world. 1.4 gigabytes. That's the size of this entire world. And no wonder. I'm guessing the bulk storage room alone is probably half a gig right there. So now, without further ado, let's now set this machine off and see, basically, place your bets right now. Will this become Slimestone Mush, or will the flying machines stop before they collide with each other? Here goes. And here they come. Okay, there we go. That middle flying machine seems to be stopping all the tree zippers. Okay. So the question is, did that work as intended? If I hop up here, okay, this flying machine got down to the dirt here, and there's a space between the pistons and the slime blocks for the tree zippers. All right. So now if I remove this redstone block here, let's just do that real quick. It's not actually going to activate any of the dispensers. Oh, that's weird. So it looks like it did not actually activate all of the tree zippers. Let's see, it did not send that one off. Or that one. Okay, that's not good, but Slimestone Mush would have been even worse. So now, let's send them all back. So, that'll send those two sides back. Okay. And then this dispenser sends the other two sides back. And then if I hop up here, there's really no good view with this. So if I hop up here now, and let's say place a dirt block right there, and try to break it. Okay. Oh, it didn't actually pick it up. Cool. Okay. The system reset itself. Awesome. Okay. Well, at least I have a backup of this world, of a successful tree farm, at least the tree zipping mechanism. So if anything else goes wrong, I can always go back to this backup. Okay, the entire system is now in place. So I cleared out all the shulker boxes, and I'm gonna check and make sure that I have a backup of this world before I continue. Backup is made, and now it's time to do the full test of this tree farm. So I have a pillar of gold, and if everything works out correctly, then that gold will be split between here, out of just sticking out in a horizontal line over here, over there, and over there on the other side of the tree farm. So I have all of the redstone in place, all of the timing circuits, everything now ready to go. So this is the full test. And the way to activate it is simply by activating this observer, which would activate by leaves, which would activate by having a tree grow, because that's how leaf stone works. But I'm not going to put in a tree just yet, so actually, you know what? I could put in a tree. Let me just find a tree. Specifically a spruce tree, because whoops. Okay, we got a stray here. Seems to be lagging like crazy. Excuse me, stray. Hello? I'm dead, aren't I? There we go. Okay. Hello? That is very weird. Okay. Let's get some leaves as well. Okay, just one log is all is needed to activate the entire machine. So let's see. There's not really a way to access this thing very easily. So I'm just gonna end a pearl up here. Whoop. Okay. Up to there. There we go. So this log right here is going to activate the entirety of the machine. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bam. Okay. Now the question is, yes. Okay. So the tree zippers are flying towards the column of gold. they're gonna stick to that column, and then that's not good. What happened here? Okay, but now okay, so looks like that machine got stuck there. Okay. So looks like only some of it worked. Thank goodness I have a backup. Okay, so at least these machines are working correctly. But it appears that this machine here got stuck somehow because the tree zipper didn't go all the way back. Okay, some things were fixed. So the reason why these two sides of the tree zippers were not activating at all was because this bubble column right here wasn't functioning right. And then the reason why that machine crashed into that machine is because that machine was being sent off too early. So I tweaked all of that, and now this should work. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, bam! So now, the tree zippers are coming down. We have a zombie groaning at top volume. We have a... Okay. So the gold column is going to be peeled apart now. Pretty soon here. So that machine comes up. And then... okay. Perfect. And now these machines are pushing everything off. And now we have... Oh. Okay. Pretty sure that's not supposed to happen, but... Okay. So, did that work? Yes, it did. We have gold over here. We have gold over here. Plus some gold over here. Looks like it broke some redstone. Okay. And we have some gold over here. Okay. That's pretty cool. Although I am a little bit concerned about the fact that some redstone broke there. I'm not sure why that happened. Time to investigate. Okay, found the problem. Turns out the gold that was pushed over here started interfering with the redstone that actually activates the machine. So, simple solution, just make the redstone go up and over all the... Okay, so the gold is going to be pushed through here, so let's just make a bridge just like that. Okay, and now we got to place the redstone back in, and it also ended up breaking a repeater. So now I got to figure out where that repeater was. One last test, and then I'm actually going to call this episode done, because the next systems are really not that interesting. But I'll describe all the systems in the actual creative world, but I'll build that up in the survival world off camera. So, one last test real quick. This time I'm going to do sped up footage. Everything activated perfectly there. Nothing got broken. So, there we have it. That is the tree farm. Complete now. Let's first... Except this was on the... This solution was implemented on the backup, so let's actually implement that in the actual world now. Okay. Everything has been cleaned up. And now, something that I did not implement into the creative mode design, a way to actually get to the AFK spot without ender pearls and without jump boost. And that is what this grass path is marking. So there we go. All you gotta do is just follow the grass path, and that'll take you up to the inside of the machine. which then takes you up to here, and then you have to right-click on the minecart to actually get to your AFK spot. So a bit of a long way in, but for something this relatively complicated, it's really not that bad. Plus, I just realized, pretty much all of the redstone happens below the level of these hoppers. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So now, here we go. One last time, gonna set off this machine for this episode. One last time for this episode. And there we go. So, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode where I'm building this highly experimental tree farm, which only works for spruce trees at the moment, but hopefully in a later redesign it might support other trees. So now all of the flying machines are pushing all the blocks off of the flying machines, and yeah, this flying machine is just all over the place. This entire tree farm pretty much entirely functions on flying machines, and it's pretty cool. So there we go. The tree was basically unzipped, peeled off the flying machines that unzipped the tree, and then shoved into columns like this. And now I'm going to show you what happens when I'm going to show you what happens once it's all ready to go. Or basically after this, the system I'm going to put in place off camera, I'm going to show you what that system looks like. Welcome to the creative world. Welcome back, actually. So what's going on right here is right now I created a looping system to create perfect trees. The system can handle imperfect trees, as in trees where their tops are not full 2x2 areas, but this command block right here creates perfect trees, which this system handles the best. And this way, you can see the process of unzipping the tree, and most importantly, how all the logs are handled. So, there's a lot of leaf stone going on, and each of these 4 sides has multiple systems to push the logs around. So, here we go. You might actually see it right here. So first things first, the logs go from being 2 wide to being 1 wide and 2 blocks tall. And it does that using quite a bit of leaf stone right here. So first it goes from 2 logs wide over here and one log tall. It goes up over here to becoming 2 logs wide, 1 log tall, going in this direction. And then this system turns it from a 2 log wide into a 1 log wide but 2 logs tall system. And then it gets pushed all the way around, bounced between these systems here, until it finally gets all the way over here, where it's pretty much just gonna get wiped out once it actually reaches over here, because this side is going to fill up way faster than this side over here will, simply by the positioning of each of these log management systems. So now, I'm going to fly up in spectator mode so that you can see this whole process in action, maybe even in the form of a time lapse. So there you go. That is how all of the logs are handled. Now, getting to the point where all four sides join up on one side, that takes about 30 trees to that that requires the handling of about 30 trees. So, yeah, we got the fill command blocks over there to because currently I don't have a TNT blast chamber to handle these logs or any kind of way to handle the logs actually. So, we're gonna have to deal with that in a future episode. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please let me know, and I will see you next episode, where we'll be in a survival world, not in creative mode. See you next time.